Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Burning Roar podcast. I'm Jake Scarborough, joined by my co-host Fidel Fabian, Matthew Stotts, who has been drinking that Pepsi religiously, and then Tyler McIntosh, who is drinking some milk. So this is oh no, Stotts' camera froze. What do you know about that?
Man,
Anyways, quite a bit to talk about this week for racing. Obviously, we had NASCAR at Kansas. Was IndyCar this weekend at Barber, or was that the previous weekend?
it was the previous weekend.
Okay, so we didn't have any IndyCar this week. We had Formula One at Miami, so let's kick off with that. The Formula One race surrounding the Hard Rock Stadium. With that being said, I didn't get to watch the race, so I'm not sure. Tyler, you shaking your head no, so I'm gonna hope these other two watched it. So,
Took my head at Matthew laying
oh,
down,
oh,
deciding
you're
to drink
shaking,
something.
yeah.
Yeah. Talk
This,
about you, Pepsi boy.
I nearly, I nearly choked, bro. I nearly
That's
choked.
that's why you don't lay down.
well, nevertheless, Fabian, what are your thoughts on the Miami Grand Prix?
Boring. Just boring. It's been like this since race one. I can't take it anymore. It's just every week Red Bull, Red Bull, Red Bull, Red Bull. And then Fernando Alonso just being him in third. He was watching the race while racing. I've never seen that before. It's never happened in the history of Formula One ever. He was where he's seeing, oh, did Lance pass on for 13? Yes, he did, because he's Lance Stroll, and he'll always be the second slowest driver in the Aston Martin, even though there are only two cars. But yeah, Verstappen, ninth to first. It would be impressive if he wasn't in the Red Bull, but
Hold on. You talk about him passing somebody, but then you called him slow? What do you mean? Okay, you can't pass somebody and then be slow, but then be the second slowest driver of a two-car team. That doesn't what?
you can tell how much that race has driven my mentality.
Okay. Sure.
Matthew, please take it away from here before I lose my mind already.
The race was boring. I did a lot of this during the race. It just wasn't fun. I mean, no passing, bro. I mean, other than Verstappen going vroom vroom, just Red Bull. Unfortunate Red Bull. Yeah, I want to kill myself every time I see him win. So yeah, so it's just a Red Bull. It was just a whole Red Bull, bro.
A lot of suicidal Matthew Stotts. Damn.
So, Tyler, did you watch the race?
Like 5 seconds of it.
Was
Trust
it
me, you
that
missed
boring?
nothing.
It was during
Was
the
it
cup
that
race.
boring?
It was
Yes.
during the cup
Oh,
race.
that's right. Okay.
If I'm gonna watch one of the greatest cup races of all time, and then you're gonna ask me to go watch Formula One, no, not even close.
That's
Nope.
fair. Well, with that being said, we had NASCAR hosting the Truck Series and Cup Series races, both at Kansas, Xfinity with the off week. So for the truck race, lots of things happened. Kind of what I viewed as a surprise winner at the end of it all, just judging by how like the last 30 laps went. But nevertheless, Fabian, you're going the truck race.
I remembered half of that race. Yeah, I know. I don't know how. All I remember is that Grant Enfinger won. There was a very stupid wreck going to turn one on the restart, and that's about it. And forgot her name, but
Tony Bragner.
her. Thank you, Stotts. Top 15 in her first start. Really good debut for her, but yeah. That's all I got. Truck series at Kansas really draft dependent on passing, and that's it.
It was good. I liked it. Race was entertaining. Um, Thank you for saying who won because I completely forgot. So Brandon Finger had won that race, but the restarts were crazy. I loved. Obviously, this is something we've seen before with the trucks here. Restarts hectic, going three, even four wide at points. Um, some passing going on here and there. I liked what I saw from. I think his name's Jake Garcia. I think
Mhm.
that's who it is. That's his name.
Mhm.
I thought he looked pretty good. And yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the race personally. It was really fun for me to watch. I never really thought any part of it was boring because there was passing all around no matter what, which is the draft dependent part. But still, I thought the race was great.
Yeah, I didn't really watch the truck race, to be honest with you. I watched bits and pieces of it. I do remember the one incident that I saw was the Majeski and Raja incident. Um, which I mean, I feel like that's you're gonna be able to throw a couple blocks and something's gonna happen. So, um, other than that, I don't know. The truck series racing, I'm not saying that it has been appealing to me because it's close racing normally, but it's just one of the ones that I didn't really watch. But considering Grand and Finger won, I don't know. I'm not saying Grand and Finger's terrible, but I'm not saying he's cream of the crop.
Well, I'd have to agree with you on that. I mean, what Grant's been bouncing around between like multiple teams the past couple of years.
Mhm.
Wasn't he part time just like 2 years ago because of that? Um,
Yep.
Something like that.
I mean, interesting to see him win. I mean, not much really to take out from it. He's on GMS, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so with that being said, I mean GMS they've been in a weird spot all season. They've kind of just been mid pack. They get close to top tens, and that's about it. They get stuck there. We've obviously seen that with Raja. So maybe with Grant getting that win, maybe the team kind of starts putting things together for future races. Maybe we start seeing Raja get some better results because he has had some bad luck recently. And to talk about other drivers with bad luck, I mean, you've got Taylor Gray. He was up there and he had a chance. Just truck fell off last second for whatever reason. Um, then we saw what Matt DiBenedetto kill half the field on a restart. That was
Oh yeah, that was
that was
three.
something. Probably wrecking out over half the
That's one.
car or half the trucks that were competitive that race. So, I mean, Grant Enfinger got one in the end. That's good for GMS, good for that organization. So maybe they put something together in the future, as I said. But not much to take out of the race besides the fact that, I mean, it wasn't a terrible one, especially for a truck series race, in my opinion.
I feel what the inferior one. I think it I heard about it on the broadcast with the with Johnson. You know, with the Legacy Motorsport or whatever
Yeah.
their teams. Um, that's yeah, that's partnered with GMS, right, or
Yeah.
something like.
Mhm.
I heard that uh the truck program could be in jeopardy with the switch. I don't know how, but I'm thinking this one could have probably saved the program. I hope it did. It's a program that is a good, I guess, development team for drivers like Raja.
Yeah.
So that the program actually ends up staying and not dying.
I mean, I can kind of see that, and feel free to chime in on it. But obviously, yeah, Legacy Motor Club switching to Toyota. Was it starting next year?
Mhm.
Um, but you got, two seven-time champions. I feel like they're kind of going to be a main staple of Toyota putting a lot of funding into them, obviously, besides Joe Gibbs. So I could see them letting those two teams be their own entities in Cup. But when it comes to truck, I can honestly just see Toyota focusing on their Tricon Garage program with what was David Gillen Racing. Obviously, development drivers there. We've seen Corey Heim win already this season. Call it Mickey, call it whatever you want. He still won a race and he's in the playoffs. Taylor Gray's obviously shown he's capable of winning races in the truck series. He just hasn't done it yet. Tanner Gray has these random races where he's up there contending for a win. And so, I mean, he could pull one off. And then they've got like two other trucks, which are part time. But as you guys mentioned, Tody Breidinger getting a top 15 in her first start. Maybe she makes more starts for Tricon since she's a Toyota development driver. Maybe we see Amber Balkan make some starts. Who knows? I mean, the possibilities are endless with that program. So
And they're
Toyota
all
with wait, what?
oh, I was saying they're all better than Decker.
Nevertheless, though, I mean, I could see the whole GMS truck series situation kind of being an oddball. Um, for them. So we may see the program close whether anyone likes it or not, whether that win meant anything or not. But
True.
Moving forward, the Cup race in Kansas, which was controversial on many separate ends. So, obviously, there was Larson getting, I guess, taken out from the lead twice that race. Ross Chastain not making any friends, getting into a fight. We'll discuss that also after we kind of review the race itself. So, Fabian, take us in on your thoughts.
Well, year two with the Gen 7 car, and once again, it's a great race at Kansas. Toyota obviously has been dominant at the track ever since their win with Kurt Busch, then the second win with Bubba Wallace, now their third win with Denny Hamlin. Lap one, or well, not lap one, but lap eight, there was already some drama with Larson getting turned by Tyler Reddick. I think Reddick just made a mistake and thought he was clear, but wasn't. But he was able to fight his way back up to the top for a very dramatic finish where Larson was very loose into the closing laps of the race. Obviously, made some contact with Hamlin, and Larson went into the wall, giving him some major right front damage, which gave Hamlin the win. And then after the race, Gragson and Ross Chastain get into a fight, which is a bit of a controversy with the security guard who was kind of trying to break up the fight, even when he should have stepped in, was a bit too late. But yeah, honestly, Chastain has not been making friends ever since the last season.
Oh, yeah. The race was good. It was fun. Blah blah blah. I not much to say on it. Fidel's hit a lot on it already. Larson spinning like a top. Stewart Haas sucked ass. Literally, all four cars were awful. They were.
Chase Briscoe lost a tire.
God, bro, literally just the whole team sucked. I think Amarola was at one point the best SHR driver at one point in that race, which was crazy. I'm good for him, but they were outside the top 10 all race, or at least most of the race. And Joe Gibbs looks really good. Denny Hamlin winning. I thought there were a couple drivers could have won the race. Obviously, we got Larson. I feel like Byron could have a shot. I don't know what happened to him. I really can't remember, but I thought he was up there. So it was a good race. Obviously Ross Chastain and Noah Gragson getting into each other. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And then Ross Chastain hitting on with 1-2, I got you, bitch. And then the security came in, and I would. That's one thing I hate about NASCAR. They should treat it like, I guess, old school
Hockey.
Yeah, hockey and old school NASCAR. I say let them go. Let them go until one. So, what I'm saying? Like one go down, then do the thing. I think that's what would not just entertain fans, but I guess let drivers let their emotions out or anger, however you want to say it. So unfortunate to not see Noah be able to deliver his blows there. But still, good race and exciting post race. Somewhat of a scuffle.
Yeah, I personally thought it was a pretty good race. I mentioned earlier that I thought it was definitely the best one this season. I think as far as the action went, we saw a lot of good racing. I think you kind of saw the shuffle of cars. Chase Elliott looked really fast at one point. Obviously Kyle Larson was good, and Ross Chastain was up towards the front for a while. So I think we kind of saw our fair share of drivers kind of moving around. Let's see, trying to think of other points here. The stages, or I think the stage one ending maybe it was stage two, with the fuel strategy and the way that ended was kind of weird. Joey Logano got the stage win, and then I think there was a couple odds and ends up in the top five. And then after the race with the Ross Chastain and Gregson thing, I'm gonna be honest with you. From the clip that I saw, maybe it is a different angle. I didn't really see Ross wall Gregson. I saw him move up the racetrack, but I feel like Gregson had enough room. And if I fully agree with what Ross did. If you're gonna grab me and I'm gonna tell you to stop, and you're not gonna stop, you're gonna get a hand. he looked at him. He said, "Stop." Noah started to keep going, and Ross was like, "No." And I think if you're Ross Chastain at this point, you have to kind of stop taking people's stuff, man. You got to just if you're gonna race like that, you got to do you. You gotta let them know you're not gonna take it. So I think he's fully in the right.
Well, since we're kind of like twisting into that, I'll kind of cut to that last and let Fabian get some thoughts on that if he still needs to or thoughts. But I mean, the race itself, I kind of just like looked at bits and pieces of it. It it seemed like it was a good race. Obviously, the next gen car. It makes you wonder, what would this car be capable of at Chicagoland? Because I feel like it would be racing there just like how it is at Kansas, to be honest. But, good race. Crazy to see, Larson taken out at the beginning, work his way back up there, get taken out in the end. But I mean, it was just hard racing at the end of it on the final lap. I mean, nothing you could really expect Larson or Hamlin to do in that situation differently. Especially Hamlin's going to be racing a little more aggressive because, he's trying to get locked in the playoffs. He hasn't won yet this season, right? Larson's locked in. You're going to kind of be sticking your nose in places where some others wouldn't. So, I mean, yeah, Hamlin winning that race. Obviously, the Toyota program's figured out something with that track, considering they've won the last 3 races there. And they all have direct coordination with Denny Hamlin, so maybe there's something there that we don't know. But to touch on the Gregson Chastain thing, the incident itself, I mean, Gregson had room. Chastain didn't just put him in the wall. There was room. He just ran him out of room. There was still like a car length and a half. I personally don't understand it. Obviously, Gregson's a guy where in the Xfinity series he would try starting fights with almost everyone, it seemed. He's very hot-headed. That's why I wasn't looking forward to seeing him in Cup because of that reason. I knew he was going to get, in other words, too big for his britches, and I feel like that's the scenario going on. He's done nothing in Cup yet besides, lead a couple laps, and he's getting involved in a rivalry with one of the sport's biggest names in terms of, what's going on right now. Because I'd say Chastain's becoming one of the sport's biggest names, maybe for the wrong reasons, and I feel like you guys would agree with that. But trying to start stuff with that guy, I mean, credit to Gregson, he's calling him out. He's one of those other guys calling out Chastain, but the way he handled the situation, not good. I also don't respect what Chastain did, where how are you going to punch a guy and then push the security guard towards him to keep him away? Like that I kind of thought was a little stupid in my opinion. I mean, I get it, Gregson's grabbing you, but I didn't see the point of that. But
I don't think he was pushing the security guard because Gregson still had his arm.
well, there was a clip at like the last part of it when Gregson was getting pulled away. Chastain was pushing the security guard in like the tan shirt, like towards him.
I think
to keep them separated.
If it's like, was it like the last 10 seconds of the video?
At least, like, yeah, basically.
I think at that point, Gregson might still had his arm, and I think the security guard was trying to separate him. So I think that was one of those like, "Hey, dog, like he's got my arm, like I can't."
Well, no, Chastain had both his hands like on his back, so yeah. So I don't know. I mean,
no, I'm looking.
You're looking at you, so you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it was near the end of it.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't really understand that, but guess we're gonna see NASCAR's 2 biggest villains currently having at it. So take that as you will. But I don't know if you two have anything to toss in on that at all.
I'm just surprised how quiet Ty Gibbs has been this entire season. I thought he's gonna.
That's true.
I thought he was gonna cause some kind of mayhem already, but no, he's been himself. Like he's just doing his own thing. Rookie season, tried to figure out this car, trying to put some good results in, and he's focused. I kind of like that.
I mean, that's
we gotta give him a couple of years. We'll give him a couple seasons. We'll see how long that kicks in. I look at like the Joey Logano thing. I don't think Joey was much of a...
Yeah, Joey couldn't figure it out at first. So
I like Tyler. I like his mindset going into this. Rookie season. Stay low. Don't
not trying to start anything.
Yeah, don't let your past come up into this. I mean, and he's done great. He's actually had some good finishes recently. So,
Yeah.
I mean, kid's done.
I mean, to be fair, Toyota's just struggled as a whole, but to see,
Yeah.
him and everyone else in that program. I mean, Reddick got out the gates. He was the only one to get out the gates with Toyota, it seemed. But
Yeah.
nevertheless, I'm trying to think of what else there is. Obviously, this weekend's races. Was there anything interesting that got announced throughout the week? Oh, Ryan Newman coming back. He'll
Hallelujah.
No, not in my opinion. We're gonna have another roadblock on the track, but yeah, Ryan Newman taking over the 51 in the absence of a full-time driver because things happened.
Jail.
Still think JJ Ailey should have been in that ride for the foreseeable future, but I guess we'll give Ryan Newman some races. Why not? So, do you guys have anything to comment on Newman? Any expectations? I mean, it's a Rick Ware car, and
Just
statistically, they're not the best.
I'm just kind of surprised. Well, I want to be surprised, but a bit interested on what Newman said going into Darlington, saying that he doesn't want to race on the big tracks due to he doesn't trust the safety of the next gen car. Obviously, last season, Kurt Busch ended his career early due to a concussion because of the next gen car. But Newman said he already has two safety bars named after him. He doesn't want a third. So I think looking at that, you can see his perspective going into these five starts for him.
It makes sense. Do either of you two have something to chime in?
Yeah, I mean it's weird seeing it in a Rick Ware car. Out of all the teams that I mean, they need it the most right now. With the Cody Ware situation. But we saw how hard Ryan Newman was to pass in a fast car. Now he's gonna be in a back marker, so they're gonna have to pass him a lot. And yeah, I don't know. For the meme of Ryan Newman being the hardest driver to pass, I'm here for it. It's gonna be like Derek Cope was in his last couple starts. What was it that they said? He was like he's reading a roadmap the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be Ryan Newman. So it's weird. I'm glad he's back. I totally understand him, being a little cautious with the next gen car. As Fidel mentioned Kurt. It's odd. That's all.
Stotts, you got anything to throw in?
Well, I just happy to see him back.
He's in his own little world right now. Well, aside from that, there's not much other news going on, but we do have a couple races this weekend. So starting off, we have IndyCar, the month of May, the the Indianapolis Grand Prix. So Indianapolis Road Course. I don't know. What do you guys think the podium is going to be?
Podium. I was thinking who's gonna win the race. That would be easy, but podium. Have we had a repeat winner this season?
I don't think so.
I feel like we had, but also haven't at the same time. But well, Scott McLaughlin, he did really well at Alabama, but I feel like this is where Colton Herta gets his comeback this season. So I'm gonna say he's gonna win the race. I feel like Grosjean is gonna repeat history or repeat his finishes in his entire IndyCar career and finish second, while I see Will Power finishing third.
Okay. I've got Will Power claiming victory. Then I've got Grosjean also getting second. Haha. And then third, it's a long shot. Trust me, it's a very long shot. But he's been pretty good when it comes to the Indy Road Course. I don't know why. Don't know what the heck up with them. It's that boy Graham. It's that boy Graham. Come on, baby.
Wrong Rahal driver.
Bro, no, I ain't going Christian Lundgaard or Lundgaard. Nah, bro.
Wow.
I love him though. I love Christian. Don't get me wrong. I love Christian.
All right. I'm gonna put y'all on something real quick, okay? My podium: Stingray Rob, and Stingray Rob. That's all. You're welcome.
I respect it. I respect.
I mean, I'm gonna go with Stotts.
Stingray Rob.
I'm gonna go with Stotts. I'm gonna agree. It's gonna come down to willpower.
Stingray Rob.
Obviously, like what was the first, I think, 4 years that IndyCar raced here, this track was locked down by willpower and Simon Pagenaud. So, my podium's going to be, it's going to come down to a fight between willpower and Christian Lundgaard for the win. I think Lundgaard gets the top end. He's going to get his first career win. Willpower P2, P3. I'm going to go ahead and spice it up a little. I think Simon Pagenaud's going to get there. Last year when we went here, he wasn't that bad. Obviously, Meyer-Shank still got some growing pains ever since becoming a 2 full-time car operation. So maybe he's got something for the table. Obviously, the month of May is their best opportunity at some wins. Castroneves later in this month. Same with Pagenaud. They both have Indy 500 wins. So I think Simon's going to be that little, shining light for the team. He's going to be leading them towards a good season after this week. Aside from... What was that?
Were you also saying Stingray Rob's going to win? Because I agree.
They heard your ass. They heard you.
Was that Jackson?
Yes.
Okay, anyways, NASCAR this weekend. They are at Darlington. It is all 3 series, or is it just the top 2?
All 3.
Okay. All 3. So give us your finishing prediction, or at least your race winning predictions for this weekend.
All right. For trucks, I feel like Grant and Finger is going to go back to back. For Xfinity, I'm going to go with Sheldon Creed. He's been doing well at Darlington. And for Stottsy, good.
I think he's dealing with some things.
And for Cup, that's a bit tricky. I actually don't know who could win that race. You know what? I'm going to spice it up a bit and say Elliott will win.
All right, I guess I'll go since Stotts is a little tied up. For trucks, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's an oddball pick, for sure. But I'm gonna say Ross Chastain wins the truck race. I think he's running all 3 this weekend. Xfinity Series, Kyle Larson. He's in the 10 car, but it's Kyle Larson. And then for the Cup race, man, the Cup race is always a hard one. I'm gonna say Ryan Blaney.
Okay. Stotts, you're back, so give us your picks.
All right. I just got to check the Xfinity roster real quick. I want to make sure I get this person right. But for trucks, I got to make sure I get the roster right for the Xfinity because I got a bold one. For trucks, I'm going to go. Who do I like in trucks? That's a good question. Gosh, do I really want to say this, bro? I'm gonna kill him. I'm taking Chase Purdy for trucks.
Okay.
Respected.
I'm regretting it, but for some reason he's shown speed and it scares me and it makes me think about what I made fun of him. But I think he has a shot, a legitimate shot. So I'm gonna go him. And then with my Xfinity pick, I'm gonna go with this could have been just because of him, but I'm going to go with the 26 of Kaz Grala. Okay. Sam Hunt has brought some great cars to Darlington, especially last year. They brought a great, they brought a great car last year, and I think Kaz Grala is very talented, and I'm sure he can drive that car up there. That's a bold take, trust me, but I believe, you know what I'm saying? Smoking that SHR pack. Anyways, Darlington for Cup. I'm leaning between Logano or Byron. It's really hard for me to choose. I'm gonna go Byron here just because Hendrick is on a roll this year, just in general, and I think it's going to carry into this race. And some redemption, I guess you can say, for Byron after last year. I think it was last year, right? With him and Logano.
Yep.
So I think he's going to redeem or get his redemption and win Darlington. Legally too. Legally.
Well, you kind of said you were going with some off-the-wall picks, so I've got some more for you. Truck Series race, the number 1 for Tricon, I think Bubba Wallace is going to win at Darlington in the Truck Series. For Xfinity, another off-the-wall pick, Brett Moffitt is going to get that Xfinity win with AM Racing. And then for Cup, oh, you guys aren't ready for this one. I'm looking at this roster, and I genuinely think we'll see Ryan Preece win.
Nah, you ain't got no right. That was wild, but you ain't got no right. You know, after what you said about the F1 race, Fidel, you have no right. None. Nada. Put them glasses back on.
Also, I'd
and
like
be
to
quiet.
chime in. I think me and Fabian are just like fangirling over Riley Herbst this weekend.
Probably.
I want
mean,
to see Riley Herbst win simply because he's in a chem block car.
that is something I wanted, and I thought it was an idea since we have some time left. Favorite throwback from each race this weekend?
Oh boy.
Well, I know me and Jake have the same answer.
Yeah, well, at least
No, I mean,
no,
one,
like
for the
one
same,
for each
like,
series.
Yeah.
Oh, well, still.
Okay, well, what's your favorite from Truck and Cup, sir?
From Cup, it's Elliott's. I like Casey Kane. I got a Casey Kane flag just outside my house,
But that's not
and
Casey Kane.
even though it's a throwback to Bill Elliott, it
Ooh.
reminds me of Casey Kane. In trucks, I don't even know.
I don't even know if there's many in trucks.
I know some.
What are they?
The
I see
Red
the
Horse-
O2 truck.
The Red Horse Racing trike.
That's right.
The Red Horse Racing.
I forgot about those. Yeah.
I don't really have a favorite for me. I just like seeing the Red Horse Racing stuff back. Really, honestly.
I mean, that's fair.
Fair.
All right. Well, Stotts, what about you for your favorite throwbacks?
So I already said my truck one. I don't really know much for Xfinity. I'm not gonna lie. Anyone got any ones they want to throw at me and see if I could know? No.
One of the 5,000 Kevin Harvick throwbacks.
Oh, I want the AC Delco too. I like that one.
Is it because Boyer drove that car?
No comment. Cup.
Hornaday also drove it.
Yeah, Hornaday, my dad. Cup. There's a lot of good ones in Cup. I can't lie. They got some really good ones this year. I guess for the sake of it, I'm gonna go Ryan Newman, the 15. It just looks so good, especially with Jacob, like the sponsor, deciding to go roll with it and switch up their logo or whatever just to fit the scheme for throwbacks. I think that's really cool. So I'm gonna go with the Ryan Newman one.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, I know I love the Kim Block car for Xfinity. However, I think one of my favorites, and it's one of the mini Kevin Harvick throwbacks, the 21, the Xfinity car for Austin Hill. For Cup, I love the Eric Almirola, the Smithfield, the baseball car. That's a really cool one. Unexpected for it to be an SHR car. And then for trucks, man, trucks is an interesting one. I'm literally flipping through the schemes right now because I haven't really had too much time to look at them. I feel like I'm gonna see one and instantly. Let's see what we got here. Man, the 11. I like the Red Horse Racing truck. It's always a good one. Honestly though, Rajah's throwback. Now I'm looking at it, it's actually really sick. The Wendell Scott Foundation. I don't know who it's a throwback to, but I like the older looking schemes.
Well, for trucks, I'd have to say it's Chris Wright's throwback doing that Halvoline look. I love that design. I always have, even though it's so simple. For Xfinity, obviously, Riley Herbst Ken Block throwback, but it's between that and I think it's Balicki in the 53. Yeah, you don't just run a Herbie car and I don't fall in love with it. I need a diecast of it. I need memorabilia of this because that is a beautiful car. As for Cup, I don't even know what's in Cup, to be honest.
There's quite a few good ones in Cup.
I mean, there's quite a few. You know what? Best Cup throwback, RCR with that number 8 throwback for Kyle Busch, throwing it back to his first win for RCR.
Yes, sir.
Best throwback in the Cup series.
Honorable mention. I actually also just remembered Anti Alfredo
Yeah,
with the
Dale Jr.
78, and it's with the font too. I absolutely love that. How about that? How about that Carson Hocevar throwback though? Throwing back to the race they decided not to go to. That's a good one.
Jeez.
Love that one. Man. And there's also like the Dale Earnhardt throwbacks. Jeffrey's throwback is nice. I didn't honestly. Is it too late to change my favorite Xfinity
Yeah,
throwback?
change it.
The Ryan Ellis 43 actually is
Oh,
really
okay.
nice.
That's fair.
Yeah, I just saw it. It's fantastic.
All right. Well, aside from that, is there anything else we can comment on?
Not
What
that
the
I can
hell
really
is
think
Stotts
of.
doing?
He's probably dealing with his brother. Aside from that, is there much? Yeah, is there anything else though?
Not that I can really think of.
No F1 this weekend.
No, I think they're next weekend or the week after that because they go to Imola.
All right. Well, with that being said, thank you everyone for tuning in to this week's episode of the Burning Rare podcast. I will be personally covering over at Laguna Seca for the IMSA weekend, so keep in touch or keep an eye on our social medias throughout the weekend as I'll be posting
Doggy.
videos, photos, stuff like that. Nevertheless, Matthew is playing with his dog.
Doggy.
So with that being said, we'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Doggy.